Our elders deserve the very best care, and it's a shame to say that some of them are actually taken advantage of or even abused.
Absolutely. Our next guest says sometimes you may need to take the abuser to court. Pasadena Attorney Barbaro Jr. joins us to discuss this in more details and how very real elder abuse is. Share a little bit about some of the stories and the real cases that you work with and how you get to court.
Well, thank you, Mary. Yes, it's unfortunately, it is a reality that we live with right now. As our population is aging, you see more and more of individuals taking advantage of elderly people. The difficulty with this is there's not one cookie cutter approach. The abusers come in all different flavors. You could be family members, a son, a daughter, who suddenly begins to isolate the parents, and suddenly there's changes being made many times months before someone passes as they get more infirm. Other times it's a caregiver. It could be an in-home caregiver. It could be even someone that works for an agency.
People who are really experts at doing
this
sometimes too.
Exactly.
They've had multiple abuses.
Right, and that's why it's very important if you're using home health care that you're using an agency that knows how to vet, how to check their people. It's very important.
And continually monitoring as well, right?
That's correct. And it doesn't mean even though you have that, the family still needs to be involved and overlook and check. The other, and one last one that comes about, and it's more frequent than you would think, is many times it's someone who is doing work at the home. It could be a gardener, could be someone, and what happens is they befriend
opportunists.
Particularly somebody who is lonely, and suddenly they have this new friend, and this new friend is doing things, and what happens is they end up engaging them, and next thing you know, to the exclusion of other families, they're taking advantage.
So specifically, you're not just talking about physical abuse, but taking advantage of from a financial standpoint or a legal standpoint, transfer of property, those sorts of things?
Yes, in my area of practice, I do estate and trust and conservatorship litigation as well as administration. So I see it from the standpoint particularly of financial, that's where I take action. But also there's physical abuse that exists. Now, elder abuse is both criminal and civil. So
great. I love seeing some of these guys going to jail.
That's right. And if there is that issue, and you see physical abuse or even financial abuse, we have the adult protective services that should be contacted, and they will do an investigation and take
Let's
look
talk
at this.
a little bit about how you build a case, though, because the numbers do the talking to a certain extent within financial issues
Sure.
or financial abuse. But sometimes that senior just doesn't want to cooperate, or it's rather difficult. Maybe their cognition is still fairly intact, but we talk a little bit about undue influence too.
Exactly. What happens, and that's where it becomes very difficult for family members, because they might see mom or dad suddenly befriend this particular person, and all of a sudden that person's getting a $5,000 check or they think they're the friend, and the family wants to do something, and the parent, who is not necessarily totally incapacitated, will be resentful of the fact that you're trying to get in the middle of this friendship.
You're
exactly.
Me. I don't want you to control me.
Right. And so what happens is you can have this what turns out to be undue influence. Elder abuse comes in different ways. It's taking money, assisting in taking money, or obtaining not just money but property by way of undue influence. Undue influence comes in a number of ways, and many of the ways is befriending and suddenly making them feel indebted, and they actually give you the money, which makes it even more difficult because they didn't take the money. It was given to them.
So how do our viewers get in touch with you?
Well, my website, I'm in Pasadena. My law firm is Palermo, Barbaro, Jr. and Pitzer. And our website is the initials of our firm, so it's a long one. It's pbcplaw.com, and we're in Pasadena. We've been around. Our firm started over 125 years ago, not by this name, but our founders, and so we've been a part of the community for a long time.
Come back and talk about some other stories with us.
I would love to.
Absolutely.
I would love to.
Appreciate it. Coming up, CCN Arts with Anne Marie Villicana. This time, she has her guest, Gail Garner-Roski, with her.
She's an accomplished artist who uses watercolors when she paints. Next.
Today my bike got a flat tire. I should be sad, but I'm not, because 6 months ago, I went to Pasadena Federal Credit Union and emptied my piggy bank into their Coinstar machine. I put the money in my kids' club account, and they even gave me a Sammy Rabbit book to remind me to save my money. Dad says he and Mom can save money too in their new savings account. Now I have enough to pay for a new tire, and I still have money left over. It feels good to do things myself. Thank you, Pasadena Federal Credit Union.
It's open enrollment for Medicare, and your mom and dad are applying for the first time.